Welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guest on this next interview. The case involving former Polish Justice Minister Zbigniew Ziobro has raised legal questions that now extend beyond national borders, particularly around asylum, extradition, and EU judicial cooperation. With Hungary granting asylum and Polish courts in a related case limiting international arrest measures, the issue has entered a wider European legal discussion. Joining us on TVP World to examine this is Michał Wawrykiewicz, Polish MEP with the European People's Party. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So can you help us understand from a European legal perspective, what makes the Ziobro case different from other cases involving former officials facing criminal investigations?
Well, in my opinion, as a lawyer, practicing lawyer, this case is quite clear and obvious because Zbigniew Ziobro is a fugitive. He is charged by the Polish prosecutor office for committing 26 serious crimes. First of all, he's suspected of creating and leading a criminal group that has embezzled over 150 million zlotys from the Justice Fund. The Justice Fund, let me remind our viewers, was the fund, state fund created to assist victims of the crimes and prevent crimes. So the former Minister of Justice and former Prosecutor General is suspected of very, very serious crime. And now he's hiding in Hungary. So according to the treaties, according to European Union law, and according to the loyalty rule, he should be released by Hungarian authorities to Polish authorities, to Polish judiciary and Polish prosecutor office. That is the state of law. And at the same time, Viktor Orbán's government decided to grant him political asylum because Ziobro is claiming that he is politically, I would say, unlawfully persecuted by the Polish government, which is of course not true. He has the rights and guarantees for fair trial in Polish courts. So in my opinion, this is quite serious violation of the European Union law because on the territory of the European Union, if anyone is fugitive in one member state, should be released by authorities to the other country, and granting political asylum is impossible.
Right, so this actually does bring us to the topic of asylum as well as extradition, because like you mentioned, Hungary has granted asylum to Ziobro. Under EU law, how much discretion does a member state actually have when it comes to granting asylum to a politician from another EU country? Is there a precedent? Is that even legal under the European law at all?
In my opinion, it's illegal. Because we are working on the territory of the European Union, and all member states and also governments and judiciaries in member states are cooperating on the basis of loyalty and should trust each other. So if Zbigniew Ziobro is persecuted for very serious criminal crimes and is staying on the territory of Hungary, Hungarian government is obliged to release him to Polish authorities, to Polish prosecutor office. So in my opinion, this action taken by Hungarian government, I mean this granting of political asylum, is completely unlawful in the legal grounds of the European Union.
Now, previously, courts in Interpol has refused international arrest steps in the other very similar Romanowski case, which is actually lower in profile compared to this current case. What has to be legally stronger in this Ziobro case for these mechanisms to work this time?
Well, that was one of the ruling of the court. We need to remind that the same judge, Judge Łubowski, has issued a European arrest warrant towards Mr. Romanowski twice. First, at the end of 2024, when he was persecuted by a Polish prosecutor office, and then it was sustained in October 2025 by the same judge. And in December, he decided to issue a completely different judgment, which is, in my opinion, political statement, more political statement than the judgment, independent judgment and impartial judgment, because it is not based on the facts. We do not have any circumstances to judge that in Poland we do not have the guarantees of impartial and independent trial. And the fact that this judge was able to issue such a judgment is a proof that all of the judges in Poland are free to issue any judgment. So this proves that we have impartial and independent judiciary in Poland. So that is the state of fact.
Right. So do you think that the last case, the result of it has to be coming from a single ruling from a single judge, or do you think that this time things will play out very much the same?
Well, there are a lot of legal grounds to issue the European arrest warrant against Mr. Romanowski and to issue the arrest warrant against Mr. Ziobro. As I said, all of the legal grounds which are provided in the criminal procedure in Poland, because both of them are part, as the prosecutor office claims, are part of this criminal group which has embezzled over 150 million zlotys from the Justice Fund. So, and they are both abroad in Hungary, they are hiding, they are fugitives. So on the basis of the Polish procedural criminal procedure, they should be, these arrest warrants should be issued against them. And on the 15th of January, we have the day when a Polish Warsaw court will consider the request from the prosecutor office for the temporary arrest against Mr. Ziobro. If this temporary arrest warrant will be issued, then the next step will be the motion for European arrest warrant.
Right. So do you believe that that is the key procedural tool that Poland can use right now, or do you think any other extradition requests will come into play? And what actually has the biggest chances of success?
Well, I think that the biggest problem in that case is that Viktor Orbán, who actually brought his country, Hungary, to the catastrophe, constitutional catastrophe, economical catastrophe, who violated completely the rule of law and other spaces of democracy in Hungary. He claims that he can protect someone against Poland, against Polish authorities. While in Poland, for the last 2 years, the democracy and all of the rule of law system is rebuilt. So Mr. Ziobro, as the one who is suspected for very serious crimes, has the full guarantees of the impartial and fair trial in Poland. So there are no legal, factual grounds to issue any political asylum in Hungary. And the problem is that Viktor Orbán is the one who is charged by the European Commission, which was confirmed in many judgments of the European courts of the European Court of Justice, or the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. There are dozens of verdicts, of rulings against Hungary, which are confirming that Hungary is the country which is violating all of the areas of the democracy and the rule of law inside the European Union. So I think until Viktor Orbán is ruling in Hungary, we need to remember that very soon, within next 3 months, we have the elections in Hungary, and this is quite possible that he will lose his power after 16 years. And Peter Magyar, the leader of opposition, already announced that once he became a prime minister, he will release all of the fugitives, criminal fugitives from Hungary, and he will deliver them to Poland.
Right. And last but not least, looking at this case, do you think that in the future EU should be able to tighten their asylum rules or any other cooperation mechanism to make sure that these things don't happen again? Or do you think that it already has a robust enough regulation around it? It's just that it's not being enforced in this particular case?
Well, this is a very good question, and this is a lesson that should be learned for the future, because we need to remember that the structure, the legal structure of the European Union provides that each member state provides the rules of law and cooperates. Judiciaries in the member states are cooperating on the basis of loyalty and should release all of the fugitives, criminal fugitives. But when we have that kind of situation, as we have in Hungary, towards Polish politicians of law and justice, we need to think what can happen in future. And I think this situation would require the reaction of the European Commission, and the European Commission should consider the infringement procedure, which should be brought, in my opinion, to the European Court of Justice, because, as I said previously, Hungary is violating European rules, granting this asylum against the European arrest warrant.
Right. Thank you so much for your input and insight. Really appreciate it, and thanks for being with us on TVP World.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.